Hi everyone. In this lecture we are going to talk about flex bases. So in our HTML we have a UL with 3 LIs in it and we have the same CSS. So let's dive into what flex bases is. The flex bases property sets the width or height of an element depending on the direction of the flex box before any remaining space is distributed. So you can set the height or the width of any element using flex bases before any remaining space is distributed. That is before any flex grow is actually taken into consideration. Now the default value is auto. When the flex basis is set to auto, if any width or height is declared, then those values will take effect. But if the value of the flex basis is changed, the width will always obey flex basis and it is not going to have an effect, but the height not so much. So let's actually go ahead and take a look at what flex basis is. Now, as far as we are concerned in the horizontal direction of the flex box, in the row direction, and in that direction main axis is also horizontal. In this direction, there should be no problems. There should be no surprises when you're using flex bases. And when you specify flex bases on any flex item, the value of the width is not going to have any effect. Keep that in mind. So first, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab nth child 1. I'm going to grab the first child. I mean, it's the best practice to grab its own selector, first child, there we go. And I'm going to specify a flex basis. So what does this property do? It provides the width for any flex item before any remaining space is distributed. So if I say 400 pixels, it is going to enlarge it by 400 pixels. Now, if we make this smaller, you can see that first these two values, well, all of them are getting shrunk at the same time and at the same rate. The reason that this one seems to be shrunk at a later time is because it has more width. So it takes longer for it to be reduced. So the behavior is going to be the same. Now, you might be wondering that when you have flex bases, what is going to happen if you specify width? Let's set it to 800 pixels. And now we can see it doesn't have any effect. So if I come in here, and if I select this element, even though it says that it has been applied, but it doesn't have any, it's actually the flex basis that is taking precedence over it. And you can see that in the final computed stage, I'm going to zoom in. You can see the width is actually bottom right corner. The width is 400. That's the value from flex basis. But if we take away flex basis, then the width is going to be 800. Keep in mind that you might not encounter this behavior when the flex direction is changed. In that case, flex basis will control the height. So which value it controls, that depends on which direction the flex box is. And let's provide, so this does not work. I'm just going to comment it out. I'm going to say flex grow. Let's set it to 4. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at our elements. So now you can see that flex grow is 4. So the default value is 0. I'm just going to set it to 1. And now if we keep making them smaller, now you can see that we know how flex grow behaves. It is going to be the first element to be shrunk. There we go. So item 2 and 3, they are not getting smaller. And when that specific flex basis hit, flex basis width is hit, then item 2 and 3, they're going to get smaller. And then item 1. We could also use flex shrink. So flex shrink, I could set it to 5. Now this is going to be the first element that is going to be shrunk. There we go. They're getting shrunk at the same time. Shrink. A lot of shrink and shrunk. So I'm going to remove these. There is actually another property that we are going to study in our next lecture. And that is going to basically be a shorthand for flex basis, flex shrink, and flex grow. I'm just going to do a width on element 2. So I'm going to say nth child 2. Let's set it to width, I don't know, like 200. Now this one doesn't have any flex basis, therefore only the width is applied on it. And if we go ahead and keep making this smaller, you can see that because this is a fixed width and item 1 also has a fixed width, the only one that doesn't have a fixed width is item 3, and that is the first item that is going to get smaller. There we go. And then we are going to go on to item 2 and then item 1. There we go. So with this, our lecture comes to an end. See you in the next one.